Hello and welcome to the first video, or the first layout video for the new monthly class for UK Scrappers, Stash Bash. The first prompt of the year is to create a background using your paper scraps, your pattern paper scraps. So I pulled out one of my fairly neutral, not neutral, but plain-ish, solid pattern papers from my stash that I'm planning to use for this year. It's got canoes on one side, which I will never ever use, unless one day in the future I go canoeing. Can't see it happening anytime in the next 5 years, so I may as well use it now. And this side is like a solid greeny turquoisey colour. It has a line on it, so it's not a completely plain solid, but it reads as a solid. So that was an ideal background paper. I would have normally used card for a background like this, but because I'm trying to use up my stash, I will attempt to use a pattern paper for the background. I have one photo. I like the manufacturing strip, so I'm going to cut that off and use it. And my plan is to create a background using small rectangular strips of pattern paper. So I pulled out some pattern papers that I thought I might use. These are the ones that I pulled out. So they're just scraps. They're all small sheets. They're not 12 by 12. They've already been cut into or partially used, and those are the leftover pieces. I started off by putting out this one, which I felt was quite dark, and I don't really like that much. But it went fairly well with this screeny colour. And then I pulled out this paper, which is obviously multicoloured. So then I started to pull out papers that went with the multicoloured paper, and I used that as my to set the colour scheme. So I have a reddish stripe, a pink stripe, green polka dots, and more green polka dots. Then there's those cameras, and a little bit of vellum, and I really like that manufacturing strip too. So I've cut from all of those 1/2-inch strips, and then I've cut those into 2-inch lengths. So I have quite a number. I've only done one strip from each paper so far. Oh, I have a yellow one too, which I've put over here. So that's another one of those. So I've just cut 1/2-inch strips and then cut them into 2 inches. So I'll just do the same with my manufacturing strip that I want to get in there too. And my plan is to just to layer these strips. My paper is not quite flat, causing me some problems. Better. Right. So the plan is to just do something like that. And then just continue to add all of those and build until the whole layout is full. Looking at it, I think I will ink the edges of every single little piece, which is quite a job. Just grab my ink pad tool, but I think it will be worth it. Give every piece a little bit of definition, and I plan to, once they are all done and stuck, I plan to then sew with the sewing machine across each line. I might, yeah, So if I have a row along here, I'll sew along the middle of all of them. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do all of that, and I shall pop back once I have made some progress. I will not make you sit and watch me add all of those scraps of paper. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I have stuck all of my pieces down now. They're all in place. I am now going to sew across every one on my sewing machines. That's going to take me a little while. I'll do that off camera. And I was thinking that it would be nice to bring in some of the pattern paper that's in the background strips to mount my photo. But I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that yet. So that's pretty much as far as I've got so far. I'm going to go and do that sewing, and I'll now pop back to complete the layout. Okay, so I have sewed all of those little scraps of paper onto my layout. Initial plan was to go all the way along each row, but I decided against it in the end. It was more work for me. I decided to just go across every individual tab. So that was a lot of ends to pull through and a lot of sewing to do. But the effect of it is quite cool. I really like it. They look like they're all individually sewn on instead of stuck. The back's a bit of a mess, but I might stick it onto a piece of card that's like 11 3/4 square or something to keep all of that in place, because it is a bit messy and it's likely to get caught going in and out of albums, that kind of thing. So, okay, so now I've got to go back to my photo and build the rest of the layout. I plan to put my photo up in that kind of corner, because the background is so busy, I don't really want too much around the photo itself, but I do want to separate it out from the background. So I was thinking some large layers of some things that's fairly plain. So this paper is also in this layout on there already, not really identifiable. It's just yellow, and then I've got that one there, which I thought might work quite well, plus the pink stripes. Any of them really, probably, except this spotty one. So I'm going to put that one to one side. I'm just going to get cutting some layers. So I've got, I think I'll start off with the yellow one. So if my photo is 4 1/4 inches wide with that border, this needs to be wider than that. So I'll probably go with something like 5 1/2 by maybe 7. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I want the darker yellow on towards the edge of the layout. I forgot to say that I've ruffled up some of these the scraps as well, so there's a little bit of dimension there. So my paper doesn't lie flat, but that's fine, I'll sort that out. So that's probably as big as I want to go. I don't want to cover up too much of my background, so I won't go a much bigger layer than that. I will add some other bits and pieces, but they'll probably just take it. Okay, so something like that. I need to add a title. It's fairly long. I picked out these 2 alphabet stickers. Now I'm just trying to think about where I can put it. I'm wondering if I should probably find a journaling card to base it on, because it is quite long. So I have a huge number of journaling cards. Let's see if I can find one that will. It's fairly plain. Well, that one's quite good. I really like this one. This one I said was quite good, but I'm worried the colour is so similar to here, it might just blend in a bit. Plus the alphas they'll show. I want something fairly solid so that my alphas will show on top of the card. And obviously it can't have any writing on it or an emblem, because then my title won't show up properly. I think I'll go with the wood grain. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get all of those stuck down and get my title on, and I shall pop back to do the embellishments. Okay, so I've got all of my layers stuck down. I've added in this journaling card here so I could put my title on there, and I realised as I was sticking, actually a bit too late, I had to rejig things, that I needed somewhere to write because I have a little story. This title will make no sense whatsoever without the story that goes behind it. So I quickly had to find another journaling card, and I just slotted that in underneath there, and I've written in my journaling as well just to make sure that I could get that down. So now for the fun part, which is the embellishments, and I'm going embellishment crazy because I've got so many to use. So I have pulled out, I just went through my a few embellishments, not even all of them I've got picked out, and just pulled out a few bits that roughly match the colours. So I've got some paper clips there, I've got our wood veneers, wooden buttons, flags, enamel stars, some frames. I was thinking I might actually tuck some behind there. Anyway, I won't use those now. Some little plastic like resin cameras, some wood veneer shapes, wood dots, punctuation wood shapes. There's a little flare badge, I think you are lovely, which goes very well with what is on there. I've got a few of these stickers left. They're just a few random ones. Everyone has a story. This is home, for real, thankful, and a leaf. I thought I might be able to get them in. They're nearly used, so a few more enamel dots, cork shapes, and some stickers. And I thought I might be able to get some of those stickers in there. Great colour match. Just not sure if they'll say the right thing. So I'll have a look and see. I'm going to start off with these wood shapes because they're huge, and they're the ones that I've really been struggling to use. I very rarely have any use for owls. I'm not into birds. So I've got 4 owls. I've used one somewhere else already. So I'm going to try and squeeze one of those in and hope it won't look too out of place. I just think the owls just don't do it for me, or birds just don't do it for me. I just never find anywhere that they go. So I'll see if I can get one of those in here. See, this shape again is huge. I might be able to squeeze that in there. Probably not going to fit any more on here. Love, that's quite cute. Yeah, I'm going to struggle with those, so I'll stick with that heart one and hope that I can get that in. Also definitely want to use this flare badge. It's black, and I very rarely use black embellishments on my layout, so I have to force myself to use them. I think it's just because I love colour so much. But the words go very well, so I'll have to squeeze that in somewhere. I'm thinking that I might have like a line of embellishments going under here to make my layout L-shaped. I'll probably put a few little bits up here too, so I've got 3 areas of embellishment all coming into my photo there. Let's see about these little cameras. Now, red doesn't quite go, it's a little bit too red, so I might go for a white one somewhere that just about goes. So let's get that out and see. And I normally start off with the largest pieces first, because all the little bits can be added afterwards. So the other large embellishments that I pulled out were these stickers, so I'm just going to go through. Be Passionately Curious actually goes really well. I don't want it to detract from the title, so anyway, we'll keep that there for the moment. Suitcases don't go, neither does a typewriter. Clever, that's the kind of the opposite of the story, but it kind of goes. Lovely Darling, that's good. And True Stories goes too. I might poke that in somewhere. It just doesn't look right because of the background, so I'm going to pop that one back. Okay, I'm going to leave those there. I did put out some little round shapes, there we go, that I forgot about. And there's some good sayings in here. Daily stuff, happiness is mine, and the heart shape. I wondered if I could squeeze those in somewhere. I'm not sure I'll be able to get all of them in, but I'll give it a go. was planning to have some embellishment over here somewhere. That's not going to work really. Might get one there. Yep. That's not going to fit there. Might overlap it a bit. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. Still not sure where to put that sticker as much as I love it. I think Lovely Darling goes better. I might put Passionate Curious away. So I've put this sticker, the Lovely Darling sticker, I've stuck it onto the wood veneer shape. So therefore it's kind of hanging off, and I don't want to push it down onto the layout because it will, they're on different levels. So I'm just going to raise that sticker up so it's the same level as that wood veneer. I'm just going to do that with sticky foam pads. There. That should work better. Yeah, okay, so that's, might need another one under there actually, but I'll come back to that in a minute. She's not at school yet, she's just at nursery, and this is the first nursery photos that I've bought. My husband doesn't know. He already moans at me spending far too much money on photos, so I haven't mentioned them. But I have just generic stories to tell about her, which I don't have photos from, so they're a great way of doing it because I can put any story with this type of photo. It's just a lovely photo of her. The story is, you probably can't read the journaling, but she came in to show me the pattern on her socks. It was a striped pattern, light and dark, and instead of saying light and dark, she said to me, look mummy, light, dark, morning, because obviously we say, oh, it's morning time in the morning when it's light, and at night time we say, oh, it's dark. And I just love the way that the whole, learning the language, she comes up with logic like that. It's just brilliant. So that's a little story that I will want to tell her in the future. See if I can get a turquoise paper clip in here as well. Trying to use those up. I don't mind that it goes over my photo. In fact, I'd quite like to cover up the outfit she's got on. It's not the best. Now for these stickers, for real is really good. It's orange, which doesn't really go with my layout, but it's quite subtle, so I might put that just there. Everyone has a story. I'm not sure I'm going to fit that in anywhere. Just going to use the leaf for so it's one more thing we used up. Doesn't really go with anything, but I can poke that in there and it doesn't look out of place. These flag paper clips. I'm not sure I'm going to get one of those in anywhere. I think I'll leave those. Definitely going to go for these wooden buttons. Got a bit of a circles theme going on. got bright pink here, which doesn't really go that well with the layout. I think is a more orangey pink that I've been using. So just going to need to add a bit more bright pink to the other clusters. Bring that in a bit. I've had for ages, so I'd quite like to get used up. I've already got an arrow over here, so that kind of mirrors that and is bringing the eye straight into the photo. So I'm happy with the use of those there. So I've got most of my embellishment clusters down. I'm just going to go and add some other little bits and pieces. So I'm looking for my really tiny embellishments now. So these are just wood veneer enamel dots. They're not obviously enamel, they're wood. But again, they're something I've had for a long time, so I'm going to try and get used up during this series. I've only got 2 of those left. I don't think I can fit any more of them on this layout though. And I was going to use enamel dots, but I think I'm going to go for stars. I've already got loads and loads of circles on this layout, and these lime green stars go not a bad colour match with the lime green that I've got here. So I'm going to add some, and they're the ones you can see that I've used the least of. So I'm going to add a few of those in, pops of colour, onto the embellishment areas. Okay, right, I am going to call that done there. Leave it there before I add too much more, but I feel like I've used a good amount of paper there. I've annihilated quite a number of my scraps, as well as used the background paper that I have shied away from using in the past. I've used up quite a lot of alphabet stickers. I've got in quite a lot of embellishments, and I've almost finished a few more packs of things. And I've got in this large heart circle, which I've been struggling to. I've tried to put on several layers and been struggling to get in because it's quite big. So having a small layout on a large background gave me the opportunity to get a large embellishment in like that. But I didn't cover up too much of the background. You can still certainly see it, which obviously was the aim of the exercise. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me for this video. There are several challenges this month, one of which is to create a background using pattern paper scraps. Upload your layouts to the gallery within the next 4 weeks and you can gain extra points for your team. There are other challenges too, but see the PDF for full details on UK Scrappers. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.